It's been a great thing. It's such an uncomfortable topic to talk about, especially for a guy, young guys in their early 20s. And, I'm glad that, I could tune in and, listen to you guys.
Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome to the broadcast. Phone number is 888-659-3727. Wonderful to be here on, what's tonight? Friday. A Friday night again.
Yeah.
And it's
funny how that works out.
It's already like we're going to the second week of May, which I cannot believe, first
I know.
of all.
It's like, what happened to the first week?
Dude,
it's already May 8th.
Everything is just flying by, and then it's going to be over. And you know what?
Dead.
People ask me, how's life? I'm like, it's taking forever.
Good one.
Guys, the phone number is 888-659-3727. This is the Hair Loss Show, The Bald Truth, with my co-host on Friday evenings, Joseph Tillman, who is live in Vancouver, British Columbia. I am here in my studios. I love when people say studios. It's a single studio, by the way. I don't have a bunch of studios. In my studio in Los Angeles.
Just sounds better when you say plural.
Yeah, I know. When I have somebody in the studio, you have to say in studio instead of in the studio. Everyone is so full of shit.
Well, that's true.
You know?
That is definitely true.
The whole world. Listen, I want to make this clear to everyone who's tuning into the broadcast. I do not sit here behind this mic to claim that I know everything. I don't know everything. Here's what I know. That's why I have Joe here, yes. Here's what I know. I know how this industry operates. I've been in the industry for 30 years. I wrote the first expose on this industry. No one had ever written an expose on the insanity of this field until The Bald Truth.
This is true.
So I started off not being loved by this field.
It's carried on for 30 years.
Yeah. So that's my history. So I started off as a disruptor. Jesus, I can't. A disruptor.
Yeah.
As someone who is not well received by the industry, not well received by the trade organizations. The only people that I was well received by were like 11 physicians who I wrote about in the original The Bald Truth. They loved me. Loved me.
That's the way it works.
Until not all of them did. Until I continued down this road and just kept telling the truth year after year after year. An inconvenienced truth to a lot of these guys, even some of the OGs who were in my original book. It doesn't matter how long you know somebody in this field. You're still going to get shit. I made a post the other day on my Instagram. A little post-nasal drip. And, I thought it was a good educational post, and I'm just discussing the reality of hair transplant surgery. Mark Normand, the comedian, he has this one of his podcasts is We Might Be Drunk. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And so he was talking to another well-known person about their hair transplant. And he basically said, I want a hair transplant.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
So the other guy, I don't even know why I'm not going to mention his name. Maybe it's because I forgot it. The other guy, you could find, what's his name? Joe. He was on
McHale.
Soup. Yeah, Joe McHale.
Joe McHale.
He has an incredible hair transplant, but he was talking about the reality that he had 4 procedures. And they're like, why? Why'd you have 4 procedures? And he explains that he originally had strip, and then he's had FUE. Now, the way that he describes it is, you don't want to have strip. That was very painful. Just go for where they pluck out the hairs. First of all, Joel, I hate to tell you, they didn't pluck out anything.
Man up.
What?
Man up.
Yeah, they dissected those directly out of your scalp using a very sharp instrument. So there's no dissection. There's no plucking involved. There's dissection. But with that said, it doesn't make a difference. The guy looks incredible. But I just mentioned the reality when people are talking about celebrity hair transplants, they're always pointing to a handful of guys who have had really great, long-lasting, just solid hair transplants over the years. And there's not one celebrity that people point to, at least, that hasn't had at least a hybrid procedure. Or I'd say at least one or two strips and then maybe a hybrid procedure.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's it. That's just what it is. What am I going to tell you? I'm going to lie about that? I'm going to say this is all FUE? A guy that we both know, someone I one of the few friends I have in this field, I think, a good guy, kind of gets his hackles up in the comment section. And I'm just like, it never ends. I don't mind being questioned, or if you want to provide some insight as to why this could be incorrect, provide that insight. But I think he said something like, well, why do people need to remove or utilize 100% of the sweet spot if they're going to a physician who's helping to preserve the donor? Don't quote me, something like that.
Yeah.
And I just wrote, great question. Maybe you can tell me. Because I'm not a doctor. I don't know everything. All I know is that these guys, and that guy in particular, had a couple of strips.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. The celebrities that people are talking about, Elon Musk, other guys out there with these very durable hair transplants have all had strips. Mm-hmm. Don't shoot the messenger.
What was it? What was the comment? It
wasn't even, and trust me, not a nasty comment at all. And this is a friend of the program, someone that I have a lot of respect for. But I'm just like, everything I do, I tend to get people's hackles up just by putting the truth out there. And
what was the comment? What do you say? Something about why use 100% of the safe donor?
I could read it. It was something like, I'm basically telling people that, the only way to get 100% of your relatively DHT-resistant hair and utilize those grafts from the safe zone or from the sweet spot is via strip surgery. Mm-hmm. And his comment was, why is it necessary to utilize, or something like this, I'm not reading it, 100% of the sweet spot if you have a surgeon or a physician who's helping a patient preserve their donor. I don't know if it's with medication or whatever. And again, don't quote me. And I'm just like, that's a good question. Maybe you could answer yourself.
Well, I can say that if you wanted to, like, it depends on the size of the surgery, but if you wanted to concentrate only in the area of the sweet spot that FUT would take by utilizing FUE in the same area, it would have to be a small surgery for it not to cause an aesthetic impact.
100%.
Like maybe 1,000 grams. Like I don't even want to throw a number out. Actually, yeah, because if you're looking for any meaningful number of grafts, and you want to stay in the sweet spot of where we know the strongest DHT resistant hairs are, zero chance it's only FUE.
Here it is. Why would someone need 100% of their sweet spot, in quotes, if they had a surgeon that focused on preservation? That's a good question. Now, if you want to move a small amount of grafts, well, let's put it this way. I think what he means is, you're preserving beyond what is considered to be the, in quotes, safe zone.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. That's why people who are doing FUE or having FUE performed really should be on medication, 100%.
Well, I'll counter that question by asking a follow-up question. Why would you not want to leave the majority of the donor absolutely untouched and pristine by not going for just a sweet spot? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that's a great counter. But all I'm saying is, what am I doing wrong?
Absolutely nothing.
I'm trying to just be honest and let people know the truth. And even the guys that are fans of ours will question it at times. Just be like, if you have something to say, you have some commentary, state your case. That's what it's there for. I can't answer that question.
Yeah, and look, I mean, drive-by comments here and there. I mean, that's fine, but ultimately, it's like if you want to make a case. I'm not talking about this one comment that you just referred to, but in general, like you want to dispute something that's being said online. A comment section of Instagram isn't the place to do it. Call the show. Let's talk about it now.
That's actually true. Good idea. So, Doc, if you're listening, call the show, man. You're a friend of the show. You're a fan of the show. And I just want to make...
I remember that. Yeah.
And
he is a friend of the show.
And I just want to make it clear. I like this guy. This is one of the few guys that I think I can go out and have a drink with and enjoy their company in this field. That is rare. But I'm just stating, it's interesting to me. It's like, I try to be like just honest about what I post online. And again, I don't know everything. I base everything that I discuss online, any content that I make, just on the experience that I have in this field. That's it.
That's all you can.
These particular
That's all you can do.
Celebrities that everyone points to have all had strip surgery. Mm-hmm. Now, is it only because they started to have surgery 15 or 20 years ago? Maybe that's part of it.
It's part. I can say that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would they have had such a durable outcome?
I can say
if they had 5,000 FUE grafts moved 20 years ago, probably not.
I can say something about the Elon case in the way I can say it is without disclosing too much information. He's a thinker. He's a smart guy. Yeah, he's a thinker.
Well, he's no dummy.
He's no dummy, as Spencer says. Yeah.
Anyway, the phone number is 888-659-3727. We have calls. I don't know if you want to discuss the topic of the show first or take a call first.
No, let's take a call.
Okay.
Let's take a call.
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi. This is Kevin in Connecticut. How are you guys?
Kevin from Connecticut. What's happening, brother?
What's up, Kevin?
You're going to have to turn down your computer or your phone.
Yeah, okay. Is that good?
Better, yes.
Yeah,
what can we do for you, brother?
Okay. Yeah, so I know you guys are aware of who Gary Hitzig is, right?
Who? Of course.
Who?
Yeah.
Gary Hitzig.
Yeah, Gary Hitzig. Yeah, 1999, Gary Hitzig and Schwinning filed a lawsuit against me for essentially his patients calling my radio show, telling the truth about their experiences. And we ended up really he ended up in not a great position after he decided to file that lawsuit. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good story for Joe, because I remember one time you guys were speaking about him, and you had asked the gentleman on the phone, well, did you get a transplant from him? And he said, no, I just went for a consult. So Joe said, boy, you dodged a bullet on that one. You remember that, Joe?
Well, how many times did Joe say that?
I actually don't know. I mean, it could be any time, but I get your point.
It was kind of funny at the time. The thing is, I went for 2 transplants with him, one in 1978 and then another one in 2003. Got about 1,500 grafts each time. And I was sort of really pissed off.
Wait a second. Let me stop you there. I'm sorry to interrupt. You said you got 1,500 grafts in 1978?
Yeah.
I don't even see how that's...
I went for another one in 2003.
That's like, I mean, in 1978, they were doing 4-millimeter plugs, right?
Yeah, that was FUT I had then. And the second one was FUT in 2003. I don't even think they were doing FUE in 2003 yet.
Yeah, they were. But I guess
Yeah,
I'm
they
curious. I'm sorry to question you, but in 1978, they were doing 4 millimeter plug grafts they were removing, coring it out of the back of someone's head. Are you saying you had a strip procedure in 1978? I know they were starting to do it.
Yeah, it was FUT, wasn't FUE.
Well, that I know. I know there was an FUE in 1978, but okay. So go ahead, finish your story. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, so I was kind of disappointed. Obviously, the result looked kind of doll-like at the hairline, and they didn't tell me to take medication afterwards or anything back then. So recently, the last few years, I started using Bosley hair pills for men, and unbelievably, I got a pretty good result. The hair, my original hair, started growing underneath, peach fuzz, and a little bit more. So now, with the transplanted hair he gave me and using the Bosley meds, I actually have a pretty decent result. It's crazy, where I don't have to comb over it. I could wear it straight back with a high part.
Congratulations.
So I just think it's funny, that I sort of found a solution by accident, basically, using this Bosley hair pill.
Well, do you know what you're taking? You know what kind of medication you're taking?
Yeah, it's a Bosley hair pills for men.
Right, but
it's
what's the actual medication in the pills?
Yeah, I have the ingredients here. Hold on a sec. Working on the bottle. Let's see. It's kind of hard to read on the back.
Is it finasteride, a low-dose oral minoxidil? Are they medicated?
Definitely not that or minoxidil. And there's no side effects with this. You take one a day, and no side effects at all. Having any trouble with upset stomach or anything like that. And this is going on 3 years now.
So you're taking? Are they an herbal supplement? Is it a vitamin?
Yeah, a hair growth supplement. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's it. That's fascinating. I'm really glad that you're doing well on the supplement, brother.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a shame I can't send you any photos. I'll probably be doing a music video in June. So maybe at the time when it comes out, I'll let you guys know. You'll see what I look like then,
Okay.
I'm down with
Well,
that.
we appreciate it. Allison, I'm glad after going through some bad procedures with Gary Hitzig that you are now at a point now. Well, how old are you? If you had surgery in 1978, you got to be like 70 years old.
71 now.
71. God bless you, brother.
Yeah, and the hair I have, it isn't gray. I got like maybe 3 gray hairs in the back, and that's it.
Wow.
So this Bosley medication, it actually continues you not to grow gray hair. So
well, I'm gonna have to research that.
Yeah, research it. I get it every 2 months. It's a 2-month supply.
Wow.
I get it on. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think that's great, man.
Obviously, this has biotin in it. It's very hard to read the back. Calcium, it says.
Well, I mean, you're 71.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to expect a fantastic result.
No, I'm just saying, as far as being able to see, you got to put your readers on, brother.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, at least I don't have to comb it over like Trump does anymore. I have hair underneath.
I think that
I can wear it straight,
That's a good thing.
You're very lucky, brother. And what's your name again?
Kevin.
Well, Kevin, man, I'm glad that you are doing well. I'm going to take a look and see exactly what's in those Bosley nutraceuticals.
Yeah, because it's pretty amazing that I didn't take any medication, obviously, after the first transplant or the second. But now I started 3 years ago on this Bosley, and all of a sudden getting results. So I think it's kind of terrific in a way,
Well, of course it's terrific. I think you should be very excited. But you're still not taking medication. You're taking a supplement.
Yeah, just taking a supplement.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's very interesting. I'm going to take a closer look.
Yeah,
I'd like to learn more
I've been
myself.
pretty lucky. And the crazy thing is, the 2 transplants he did to me, he didn't maim me. I don't have any scars underneath or anything. So that hair actually remained all these years, the 2 times I had it done.
Yeah,
but now at the side, it's like I found a new discovery or something,
Well, I think that's exciting, man. That's great.
Yeah,
And, one of the reasons
congratulations.
why the hair lasted is because he did these strips.
Yeah.
So, all right, brother, listen, thank you for the call, Kevin. Good luck.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right.
Take care,
Let
guys.
us know when that music video comes out.
Yeah, I'll let you know. It'll be on YouTube. Then you can see what I look like.
All right, brother.
All right.
All right,
Sounds
take
good.
care.
All right, Joe, Spence, take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
888-659-3727. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from? Hey, caller, you're on the air. Just say hello. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.
See ya. Anyone else?
No, not right now. Guys,
Okay.
the phone number is
All
888-659-3727.
Well, in that case, it's time for Joe's Hair Loss Corner.
Joe's Corner.
Da, 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 da. We should get some intro music on that. Okay, so you've all been hearing about peptides. Peptides for this, peptides for that, peptides for everyone. Peptides are great. Are they? Really?
Peptides are great. Peptides are great.
Peptides for me. Peptides for you. Peptides for everyone. Choo 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 choo. Anyway, so the thing about peptides, when we first started hearing about these in mass, probably a few months ago, maybe a year ago, I guess. Not for hair, but in general for health and weightlifting, fat loss, all these different ailments, and it seems to be the newest catch term or catchphrase that everyone's talking about in regenerative medicine and hair loss and weight loss and all these things. And the one that stands out to me are copper peptides. And when I first heard about this recently, red flags immediately went up. Why is this? Well, it's because copper peptides have been around for hair loss for at least 25 years. And we know this because, at least in some clinics, there were copper peptide sprays that were being given to patients post-operatively to aid in healing. And every clinic I know of that was offering copper peptides, usually for a fee, which I also find to be ridiculous, they stopped offering it, which in and of itself indicates that there really wasn't much to the so-called healing factor of using copper peptides post-operatively.
Exactly.
I used it for my very first repair surgery with Dr. Wong. I did not opt for it for the second surgery. It wasn't even available. We stopped carrying it at Hassan Wong. I started working at the clinic by then. By the time my third surgery was underway in 2004, stopped carrying it. I don't remember the discussion why. I don't remember hearing that we stopped using it. It just kind of surprised me one day. So, we don't have copper peptides.
You know why?
Okay, whatever. Why?
Because they don't work.
No. I'm saying that I wasn't alerted to it. Like no one said, "Hey, Joe, by the way, we're not carrying this anymore because of reason XYZ." It was just I discovered it by accident that we stopped carrying it. But yeah, exactly. We stopped carrying it because it didn't work. And to this day, I actually never talked to Dr. Wong, Dr. Hassan about why, but it's obvious. And no other clinic over the past 20 years has been consistently offering copper peptides as a post-operative healing option. Never heard of it. It came and went. So now copper peptides are back in the news to combat actual hair loss. It's not the healing factor. It's for hair loss in general. And one of the benefits that I was reading about copper peptides is that it initiates neogenesis, or new growth of blood vessels. Now, that in and of itself would help with healing. But going on the anecdotal evidence from 25 years ago, how much neogenesis are we talking about over the course of 2, 3, 4 weeks of use? Now, the way that copper peptides are suggested for use today is minimum 6 months. That's a completely different ballgame. And you have a few different application options, one of them being topical, one of them being topical with microneedling. And if you've been watching this show for any amount of time, you know how much we love that. But then there's also the option for injections. What are the problems with injections? Well, there's no standardized dosage for copper peptides when it comes to injections. And no one knows exactly how this works to begin with. There have been some studies. I haven't jumped deeply into researching these studies, but I suspect that these studies are flawed. There was one that was surprising to me. It said that at the end of 6 months of a trial, I forgot how many, I think it was 45 men that were between the ages of, I think, 25 and 60, with no DHT inhibition treatments in the past or during the study. There was between 50 and 71 hairs per square centimeter improvement. Now, does that mean a lot on its face? Yeah, it does. That's a huge improvement, actually. If you have seven, let's go on the high end here. Actually, let's go on the low end. If you have 51 hairs per centimeter square improvement, that's roughly 20 grafts, follicular units per square centimeter. That's what some surgeries offer. That's a lot for topical. And this was a topical application. But I'm sure that if I jump into it, I'll see that there are extenuating circumstances that make that number a lot less impressive and convoluted with other factors.
It was one small study. It was never replicated.
Yeah.
The original copper peptides, which are still being promoted right now, were essentially discovered back in the 1970s. Lauren Picard, who I actually had access to when I wrote the original The Bald Truth, ended up selling his own products. Started for wound healing in the 70s, and they studied it. And then it was like, wait a second, let's see if we could pimp this shit out for hair loss. And then Trichomin came on board, and I think it's Phologen was one of them. Was it Phologen? Mm-hmm. And Procyte. Yep. Remember Procyte?
I do remember Procyte. Yeah.
And when I would point blank these guys about its hair growth properties, after a while they'd be like, well, it really has never been studied, except there's one tiny study. But whatever. Maybe it could help with wound healing, so we're going to sell it. Or maybe it could help with inflammation, so we're going to sell it. And you know what? It's being repackaged now that peptides are hot again. And there's a lot of people that, they contacted me. Now they're not buying name products. They're buying the GH.
Hang on, got it right here.
GHK-CU.
Yeah.
And so now they're being marketed as peptides in a little peptide bottle, and some people are promoting topicals, but they're not naming them to make it look like it's some hair loss product. They're just saying, here's the name of the peptide. It has a very scientific sounding name.
That's the selling point.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're going to sell this shit.
Because all the other peptides that are popular right now also are going by their chemical name, not any sort of special marketing name. So the truth in limited amounts is the new marketing. If that makes sense.
There's no one who's ever been on copper peptides, topically, injectables, that has ever slowed the progression of their hair loss, reversed the progression of their hair loss, or regrown a significant amount of hair that was long-lasting ever in the history of this field.
And that's where this was going is regardless of anything that's being stated in these obscure studies or comments by people in the field. I saw that there's some videos done by some so-called influencers, and the bottom line is this, and this applies to everything in life, but specifically with the subject of hair and hair growth. Show me the money. If it works, where are the people that have been trying it, been working with their doctor, working with their clinic to use this as a treatment for hair loss, and where are the before and afters? Where are the testimonials with verifiable
said,
proof?
there is a device that's being used out there in hair transplant offices that are incorporating, specific, and I think they're copper peptides. Someone actually, I had another comment when I was talking about copper peptides on my Instagram, and at least in this person's clinic, they're claiming that they work. Whatever. Maybe they do. Maybe that type of an application using
it has to be in
device.
conjunction with some other treatment.
Yeah,
it has to be mixed in with something.
Who knows?
Else.
I don't know. All I know is what I know, and what I know is you're going to be hard pressed to find a single human being on the planet that started using copper peptides 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, or 10 years ago, who has not gone on any other medication, who has hair in their head.
Yep.
I wish it was different. Don't you not shoot the messengers.
I hate being the bearer of bad news. I really do. Like one of these days, I want to be able to say, this shit works.
And who's the guy in the chat room who says I look like I'm in pain? That is just rude. Jesus Christ. It's funny. Rob Hellner starts it all. He starts it all.
He really does. Oh, it says Nick Brick says Dr. Cooley gives copper peptide shampoo to use post-operatively. God bless him.
A lot of the guys, a lot of the old timers still do.
Yeah.
Not that he's my age, not old timer, but a lot of the guys that have been in the field still do. It's kind of like, well, maybe this could help with inflammation, and it might. Listen, there is proof. There's evidence out there that these peptides can help with healing, wound healing specifically.
That's the thing. And I think that's what the peptide is known for. Specifically, is neogenesis of skin cells or blood vessels.
So skin,
maybe
wound healing.
Maybe there's some sort of benefit with wound healing. And, I used it myself. So I had nothing to compare it to. The only thing I had my first repair surgery to compare to was my last surgery prior, 9 years earlier. That was terrible. So, it's completely different technique and much bigger instruments and much worse overall procedure. So I had nothing to compare it to. But with all the surgeries I saw, I can't say that there's any definitive, wow, this is so much better versus what we're seeing in other patients type of outcome to justify using it. Dr. Cooley, that's the one thing about Dr. Cooley. If he sees a benefit with it, I have to say that there's got to be some sort of benefit. I trust his opinion across the board on these things, and he's not one to just waste people's time and money with things that don't work.
If you have a hair transplant and you want to use this post-operatively, terrific. But if you think you're going to grow your hair back using these peptides, I wish you the best of luck.
And that's the thing. The one thing I can say about it that's positive is it ain't going to hurt you.
That's true.
So anyway, that's that on copper peptides for hair loss.
Guys, the phone number is 888-659-3727. I'm looking at you on camera now, Joe. Your hair looks very good today.
Thank you, because I was able to get back to Benny the barber.
Fucking Benny hooked you up, man.
he hooked me up. He's my boy now. Anyone in the lower mainland of Vancouver that's watching this and want a great guy that cuts hair, Benny the Barber in Ladner, BC. Good stuff.
And everyone's going to rush to Benny the Barber. You're going to need an emergency haircut, and he won't be able to service you.
Hey, if it helps him, that's what matters. And I get in there on appointments. He actually takes me in his house.
Really?
That's the star treatment.
I've known my barber for 20, almost 26 years. He still doesn't know my real name.
I thought you were going to say he still doesn't let me in his house for haircuts. No. It's because he's in a nursing home.
He's old enough, really.
Yeah.
Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Adrian from Melbourne, guys. How are we?
Adrian, how are we?
I'm good. And I tell you what, Joe, you were spot on, man, with your advice. You said that, look, if baldness is something you can't overcome, then there's always two things. There's Thailand and then there's the Philippines, brother. And I just spent a month in Thailand.
Wait a second. I thought that was my advice. That was Joe's advice?
Someone's in a good mood, and I know why.
Yeah. Dude, listen, I was talking to Joe earlier. All of the old sexual refugees, we have hope.
There is hope, man. And even if you're nearly turning 60, like I am, there's lots of hope out there.
You know what? There's a lot of hope here in Los Angeles, but you gotta pony up, man. You gotta have the goods. That's the problem. A lot of young women here, they don't care. They don't give a shit how old you are. If you kind of have your shit together, you're not totally broken down, and they think that you're doing well, you're golden. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, they have that here too, I guess. But I had a really good time. I spent most of it in the gym, to be quite honest.
That's great.
Caught up with some friends. Yeah. I'm really tempted to go back and try creatine, but I'm a little superstitious. I tried it once, and I felt like my hair was thinning. I think I might have sent you a couple of pics at the time, Joe. I wasn't sure. And, I know there's been a study since that stupid rugby one in 2009. But I don't know. Even just working out alone is going to raise your THT, I guess.
Here's what's interesting. Yes, I mean, your testosterone is going to go up to some degree, but it's such a relatively short period of time. You're not going to have a really this is, to me, it's been the biggest myth, and even some doctors have talked about this over the years, that training heavy is going to exacerbate your hair loss. So I wouldn't be concerned about that at all, brother.
I had the exact opposite when I was lifting heavy. I was also eating super clean, but my hair was better after. And this is actually what's weird, because for the subjects today, I was also looking at Ozempic and hair loss, and the theory about why Ozempic causes hair loss is because it's just from the drastic weight loss itself that a lot of people go through. And when I went through my initial, getting back into real strength training with a personal trainer and proper diet and everything, I lost 25 pounds in 3 months. That's pretty dramatic. And my hair, going through this process, was up to that point the best it'd been in years.
I guarantee you 10 of those pounds was pure water. So it was not that dramatic. You were a big, bloated, drunken fuck back then.
No, actually going into it, I wasn't.
You weren't? No?
Nope.
Well, I have been many times in my life.
I was in decent shape overall. I wasn't even 190. I was still in the 180 range, and I got down to 160. I was 189, 190. That's right.
Let Adrian talk.
165. Sorry, go ahead, Adrian.
Joe, you're in great. You're in great shape, Joe. I've seen your recent YouTube clips, and you're looking the bomb, man. It's not AI at all. It's completely you, and it looks fantastic.
I was going to say, are you sure you're watching the real stuff?
Joe was waiting for me to shit on him, and I chose not to because I'm not that type of person.
Yeah, no, I'm being serious. No, Joe, I that line, man, be gone, foul charlatan. You know, if I ever end up doing something for this community on my own in terms of helping people with hair loss, I think I'm gonna label it "Be gone, foul charlatan." I think that's a great line, man.
I love
that fucking line.
It's hilarious, man.
Well, you know where I got this from, like the whole idea of just smacking people that are just being ridiculous. It's total Monty Python, like the entire idea. That's why I was even in London. Why I put myself in London in those skits, because John Cleese and those guys, they just smack the shit out of each other if someone was saying so stupid it was offensive, and that's the whole premise.
Yeah, the whole wet fish thing. I know, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell you what, though, look, at the airport, hotels, bars, whatever, SMP. I must have walked into SMP City or something. I saw it everywhere this time when I was traveling.
It's actually frightening when you see here in Los Angeles. There are guys walking around. Listen, God bless them. I understand it. Trust me. I mean, my hair's it's an interesting sight. But these guys are walking around with full helmets of SMP. They're young. They're like 30, 35 years old. And they somehow think this looks okay. Now, I don't know if it's because full body tattooing now and neck tattoos and facial tattoos are acceptable. So they're like, yeah, the hair tattoo's fine. Or do they think it doesn't look like they have their heads tattooed?
It's a mix, I think. So, some think it doesn't look like it's a tattoo. Some almost do it like it's the duck lips, like it's like obviously yes.
It's like a new normal.
In my head. Yeah.
I've seen some. Listen, I'm going to be frank. There are situations where SMP can look good. I've seen it. Mm-hmm. It's usually very light. It's not overly aggressive as far as creating a lineup hairstyle. They leave some recession. Yeah. It looks good. You actually had it done. Yeah.
I saw one.
Yeah, I rocked it for a few years.
I saw one recently, just I think it was yesterday, the day before. I was watching a show with my wife, and it was some sort of Toronto-based crime drama, and there's this guy interviewing this person in a crime situation, and the cop, I think is who it was, he had a full helmet SMP, and my wife was like, Joe, you gotta come see this, because she can spot it now too. And I'm like, what the hell? Someone needs to call casting on this show, because it was terrible.
Dude, I was just talking to this girl at a bar. It was like, I don't know, it was like 2 weeks ago. We were kind of like, getting along and talking about what I do. And then she started to Norwood clock. It was just like, it was turned on. She's a funny girl too. But it was really interesting. This girl's like, maybe she was like, she still hasn't told me her true age. I hope she's not listening. Let's say she's in her 30s, okay? Let's just pretend. Oh, God, did I say that? Yeah. Let's pretend she's in her 30s. Jesus. I'm sure she's not listening. It was really just, it was interesting. She was talking about her father, talking about her brothers, Norwood clocking. She had a couple of drinks in her. But once you introduce the women in your life to this, they can't stop looking and knowing who's doing what. It's wild.
Oh, yeah, they get an eye for it, absolutely. But I found it was mainly the SMP with older guys, like who, as you were saying before, who are fully tattooed and they look like they've been tattooed for years and years.
Yeah.
And I guess they think it's a semi-extension when it's marketed to them, perhaps. And they seem to be cool with it.
You know what? It's interesting. It does frame a person's face, so you kind of don't. It's a tattoo, but if they're already heavily tatted up, it really is kind of an extension, and they may look better with that frame face. So they're like, "Fuck it." Instead of putting, a scorpion on the back of my head, I'm going to get these dots painted on.
Yeah, well, compared to the teardrops tattooed on their face and their neck and
fuck knows what else,
I mean, it isn't that much.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably need a motorbike to go with it, but hey, that's their design, that's their choice.
Dude,
So I'm not going to argue.
listen, good for them.
But, look, everything's cool. Everything's good. I'd love to ring in every week, which probably wouldn't be a good thing. But
Listen, we used to have a guy. You remember Joe from Staten Island from my old shows? I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, I do.
That guy called in for years. And when I was on the radio, my producer was like, you can't pick up this guy's call every week. But you know what? It was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed when he called in. So you are welcome to call in as often as you want, brother.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. And what I want to call in and say, too, is thank you for what you do. You know, I've said this before. I've said it a million times. Joe, you're like the lion, and I'm like the sheep or whatever that pull the thorn out of your craw, and, you know, I'm going to have to be a slave for life. That's how I kind of thank you so much. But I have to thank you so much because I wouldn't be sitting here on the phone with you for a positive reason if you hadn't reached out to me, brother. And I'll go to my grave with that. So thank you, man. And Spencer,
well, thank you.
Same goes to
nice.
you, man. Like, it's all true.
More importantly, how's my hair today?
It's good.
I'm just kidding, brother.
It's good. No, I'm not though. It's really good.
Yeah,
for both of you, in fact.
Thank you. Dude, we got some camera tricks and a good comb over. What?
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Wait a second. Did you say we look like a before and after? Is Joe the before? Joe, did you just freeze?
I think no. But there's someone in the room. Get out. I'm on the phone. Do you mind? Get your opinions to yourself. No, I didn't say anything. I want to shout out to Graham. I know he's probably a little anxious, and that's going to get...
Oh, yeah. When is Graham's surgery?
July, I think.
It's pretty soon. It's early July.
Wow.
16th or something like that. I want to try and see if I can go with him.
That would be great.
Who's the doctor he's going with again? Do you remember?
Dr. Prima.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lady though, right?
Yeah, she's good from what I've seen.
She's good. I think she's the one that did my friend. I was talking about this before.
Jay.
She did. Yeah, Jay, exactly. Yeah, she did a great job on him.
Yeah. He's interesting, an incredible story. I've chatted with him, you know, when I was in Thailand and here sometimes. But but look, thanks, guys. Keep it coming, and be gone, foul charlatan. That's all I've got to say.
Right on.
Adrian, brother, always a pleasure, man.
Cheers, buddy.
All right, buddy.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. 888-659-3727 is the toll-free number. You know, I find it interesting when people say, well, they're out of the country, they can't call the 800 number. How the F does Adrian get through? And Graham.
That's a good question.
And everybody else who takes the time to try. You know how I know? I pay the bills. I'm still the only guy doing a talk show that pays for an 800 number. Pays for a toll-free number.
I pay for one.
And it's all out of laziness, first of all.
It's all laziness. It's
I
the
can
only
figure
reason.
something else.
Take advantage of it.
I don't have to use these old school pot line. Well, not pots anymore because I'm using voice over IP, but it's an old school phone system that's ancient. I don't have to do that anymore. We can figure it out through some digital, newfangled way. I could get some kid in here.
Yeah.
I got a lot on my mind.
You do. I can tell.
Let's see who this is. Oh, yeah. I mean, I look like I'm in pain. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Spencer, it's Rez. How you doing?
Rez, what's happening, man?
Rez.
Not too much. Good to hear from you guys.
You are the Peptide King.
Yeah, well, that's the reason I called. I wanted to give you my quick experience on what's been going on the last couple months. So quickly with the copper peptides, about 8 years ago, there was a guy on eBay selling these bottles of copper peptides. It was in a spray bottle, similar to the Folagen.
Called
I think
Trichomin.
they're about Trichomin, Folagen, both of them. But this was a company called Medical Hair Restoration that's no longer in business. They were out of
Matt
Florida.
Levitt. My man, Matt Levitt.
And Matt Levitt. So they sold off their entire inventory, and this kid bought it, and he was selling these bottles of copper peptide. And I think I purchased maybe 100 bottles for about $2 a piece. So at that point, I still thought that there was something to it. And, $2 a piece, why not, right? I got some shampoo and some conditioner as well, and these were all, he bought the entire supply that they had when they went out of business. So, because I bought it so cheap and I have so many bottles, I just use it. I figure it can't hurt. It kind of soothes my scalp because I feel it can help with that aspect of it. Now, it may not grow any hair, and what I've come to realize with anything like even castor oil, copper peptides, emu oil, these type of things in which you get people that give stories that their hair has become a lot thicker and they've grown hair or their hair has gotten better. I believe that is true, but it's only true if you don't have hair loss. If you have a normal, good head of hair, you may have some seasonal shedding or the hair may not be as healthy as it is. These type of products, even copper peptides, castor oil, may have some benefits. But for people that have serious hair loss, it's like treating somebody with ivermectin or something like that when they already have stage 4 cancer and they're on death's door. That's why these products aren't really that helpful for people that are in really bad shape with their hair. But I do believe they have benefits for people that don't have hair loss, so to speak, the way men with male pattern hair loss have.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the program, I don't know everything. I'm open to all of this stuff. And if there's anybody out there that really is benefiting from copper peptide shampoos or any of the happy horse shit that's out there, I'm open to it. I want to believe. And your explanation can possibly be plausible.
Yeah, I mean, because you hear a lot of stories from women that have used castor oil, and they say, my hair's grown faster, my hair has gotten thicker. That's true if you don't have the main culprit of your hair loss.
Yeah, but Rez, women don't know shit. I'm just kidding, women. That's a joke. That's something a sexist would say.
Right? That's another story. So about 3 weeks ago, there was a product that I, again, got from the peptide distributor called Klow, Klow. And it's basically the Wolverine stack. Has the BPC 157, I think it's DB 500, or it's the Wolverine stack, and it has KPV, and it has GHKCU, all in one peptide. And we'll see if it does anything. I don't know if injecting the GHKCU will improve the results.
Now, does it say for experimental use only, or for, what does it say in the bottle?
It just says Klow, Klow, and it's a very small bottle. You reconstitute it with something called BAC water, backwater, and you shake it lightly. It's a blue liquid because copper peptides are blue.
Right.
It hurts like a motherfucker going in because the copper stings and it leaves a welt. So you have to inject it very slowly. That's kind of the histamine response that occurs from your body that occurs. But I've also been under the impression that putting anything topically on your head to grow hair is nowhere near as effective as, orally taking like a DHT blocker or minoxidil. So theoretically, these copper peptides theoretically should help. Everything on paper is shows that it does, but does it really? Again, for somebody that has really bad hair loss, probably not. For somebody that had good, thick, quality hair and they want to just slight improvement, yeah, it'll probably do something minor, but again, I don't think short of a DHT blocker or minoxidil, there's anything that's going to help somebody with androgenic alopecia. It's just the mechanism of action of these drugs don't address the problems that we have. Well, look, they may help other aspects.
Look, I obviously tend to agree with you. I've been doing this for a very long time. You've been in the field yourself. I see it all, brother. I see it all come across my desk. People think that I'm just out there dancing around for Instagram now, or whatever I'm doing the show with Joe, or writing articles, whatever I do. People are contacting us every single day with every possible story you can imagine, asking every possible question. Everyone is sending us their data or their, in quotes, or inverted commas, as they say in the UK, their studies on everything, whether it's copper peptides, whether it's using certain medications, different vasodilators for hair loss that people aren't even talking about yet. We get embargoed press releases. Some of them come out, some of them never come out that I can't talk about. So we're usually privy to what's going on in this field. And I can tell you with confidence from everything that I know, if you're young and you're losing your hair and you're not on a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, and you have androgenetic or androgenic alopecia, you're going to go bald.
Yep.
That's just the way that it is. People don't want to hear it. They want to try everything else that's out there. That's just the way that it is. Now, minoxidil it can work really well, both topically, if you can convert the prodrug, and, of course, low-dose orally. But it's really just a Band-Aid if you're not hitting it hormonally. That's the reality. No one wants to hear that. I know it's 2026. We should have more at this point. Maybe we will soon. But right now, that's what we got. Everything else is adjunct. Questionable. Look, we're still looking at low-level laser light therapy for our trusted brand program for the American Hair Loss Association. And we really whittled it down to about 2 different products, possibly. I'm still not sure if we're going to go in that direction. And every doctor I speak about concerning these particular products, they all have there's not a general consensus, let's put it this way. I don't know if these doctors are affiliated with certain products and that's why they speak so highly about them or what. But there's still a lot of confusion in the market. So I'm still kind of like, questioning that. But if someone wants to use LLLT as an adjunct, great. You're going to spend $3,000 for a little extra hope. But if you're not on a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, you're going to go bald.
Unless they go to cheaplasercaps.com.
Dude, that's a good idea, actually.
Well, even PP405, if that would work, you still have to take a THC blocker.
That's what we think.
I don't care how well
that's what we think
works.
so far, but yeah.
Yeah.
Short of what do they call the CRISP therapy, where they can
CRISPR.
Eventually maybe go CRISPR and change your genes in some way. Would they be able to do that with somebody that's losing hair and switch it off and to where everything's switched back on? Who knows?
We have no idea. Dude, AI is changing the world rapidly. So who knows? Maybe there's going to be enough data, AI is going to be able to do enough research where they're going to find drugs and different whatever's out there, maybe peptides, whatever, in the right combination that could end this. Things that already exist. That's possible too. They're starting to do that for cancer treatments.
It'll be a stack.
Yeah. Who the fuck knows?
What do you think?
It's sad though when we have
standard?
it's 2026 and the most promising drug we have is an extended release version of the original drug that came out 40 years ago.
Dude, let me tell you this. So this article comes out in the Wall Street Journal, and they cite us in the article. Now, we're cited in a lot of articles, but for some reason, with this particular drug, the emails are off the hook. We thought it was spam. Thousands of people. I didn't realize people still read the Wall Street Journal to that degree. You know? It's really, the marketing is incredible. The stock is going through the roof. What is it? What's the name of the company?
Vera Matrix?
I'm sorry, people. I'm getting old and I forget things. And I'm going to look it up. I'm going to let Joe look it up. Veradermics.
Talking about the extended release minoxidil.
Veradermics.
Yeah, Veradermics.
But it's interesting because they're positioning themselves perfectly, okay? There hasn't been a pill for women ever approved for hair loss. So they're positioning themselves with that, which is brilliant. And potentially it's going to mitigate any of the potential cardiac associated side effects of low-dose oral minoxidil. Now, we may be able to mitigate that with proper titration as well. But who cares? Stock's going through the roof. People are excited about it. Wall Street Journal's writing about it. They're contacting us about it. But yeah, it's kind of sad. That's really what's exciting.
But Spencer, how could this be any more effective than if I take my minoxidil and spread it out to take a small dose every 6 hours? I don't understand it. I mean, it's like with these extended release, pain medications.
Yeah, but who's going to do that? That's the brilliance of it. No one's going to do that. I would do that. I'm considering getting on low-dose oral minoxidil myself. I am losing ground. If I don't take action, I would say within the next 12 months, I'm going to be in a position where I may regret it. Now, it doesn't mean that I still won't be able to save a decent amount of hair, slow things down if it works, but I have to make a decision. And part of my decision-making has to do with, obviously, the adverse side effects. Also, I want to try to mitigate a significant – it's not even a real telogen effluvium when you shed from these medications. A real telogen effluvium essentially doesn't just affect your miniaturized hairs. Essentially, it can push all of your hairs, even your most robust, hairs in a normal head of hair, into a telogen phase. What this drug really does, it just kind of exacerbates, I should say, accelerates the growth cycle. So it'll push out miniaturized hair. So it's not, I don't even know why they call it telogen effluvium because it's not really an actual telogen effluvium. But anyway, I'm trying to avoid that. And that's kind of a concern of mine. But if I wait too long, and if I do have a shed, it could really be a cosmetic deficit for a long time while I'm waiting for it to recoup. So I have to either shit or get off the pot at some point, like Joe.
Pretty much.
Have you seen Zeph's latest videos?
Oh, yeah.
Zeph Sanders.
Why did I forget his name? Who he was for a second? My mind just went blank. Yeah, Zeph Sanders. Yeah, what's up? I saw his latest video.
Seems to have lost a lot of hair.
He switched medications. I think he's using his own concoction from the company that he's trying to put together.
That's true.
I actually noticed that where he started off this video that he put up where he's showing the top of his head. It's kind of wet. But he pulls back and he's like, wow, it doesn't look so good. Maybe I should try something. And I didn't. I was like, okay, I'm already bored. But the first thing I thought was, that looks thinner than it used to, even in wet shots.
Much thinner.
Well, he's talking about how he's going through an effluvium. So, he did switch to dutasteride. And I think that he switched to his own. I could be wrong. So, Zeph, you should call the show once in a while. Check in. I think he switched to his own brand of topical.
Right.
Minoxidil, I'm not sure. I know he's getting into that business. And listen, God bless him. He's got like 1 million combined followers. Why the fuck not? People are going to buy his shit. I'm not saying it's shit, but people are going to buy his brand because he's out there. And one thing again, I always have to repeat this because sometimes we're a little critical of this kid. I think he's a really good kid. There's something about him that I think is very genuine. He's made some wrong turns. I can say that with certainty, but I think that he really means well. So yeah, when I see that he's losing ground, when I see that he's losing ground, I have a little anxiety for him. But I don't think that. I mean, it's very possible he's going to recoup 100%.
Hope so.
He could definitely. Sure, he could. I think he could. He's young.
I think he lost the hair that he had when he went in for the transplant. I think that's why it looks thinner. The hair that he had when he went in for the transplant, I think, is what's falling out. His native hair.
Yeah, well, he had a very good response, and he grew a decent amount of underground, some native hair that could really act as underground for his hair transplant. So it's possible that's what he's losing, but it's also possible that some of that, or maybe all of it, can grow back. We don't know. I just wish that he was given what I would consider to be, more appropriate advice during the process. That's all.
Guidance.
Just a different, more appropriate guidance.
Pump those brakes before surgery.
Pump the brakes. Also, he should have had, in my view, and I'm not a doctor, but if he pumped the brakes, got on the right meds as soon as possible, he started meds probably, or at least 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, I think, a few months before his surgery. If I could be wrong about that. Give it a year and a half, see how the hair cycles, maybe even 2 years, and then go in to make a proper assessment. He may have only needed 2,500 grafts.
Yep.
We don't know what the collateral damage is to adjacent grafts once surgery happens also. You have 4,000 grafts moved in a single shot via FUE. You can cause eventual hypoxia in the donor area. Doctors don't talk about that for some reason. I don't know why. You're creating a 360-degree wound, which creates 360 degrees of microvascular disruption. Thousands of times across a person's scalp that then has to remodel. Are you guaranteed that it's going to remodel 100%? That the vascularity and the blood flow is going to be 100% once you heal? No. I just think things need to be done in stages. But listen, what do I know? I'm not a fucking doctor.
These doctors, a lot of them only care about money, and that's very clear, especially even in the 90s when you had Bosley. I mean,
well, that was bad. That was bad news back then, man.
Brother, I'll go ahead and tell you, it's like you don't even know the half of it, because there have been some things going on, I'll say, in the past few months. Like, it's been going on for quite a while, but I've been reminded of just how shallow some of these doctors are by some of the carrots that have been dangled in front of their eyes. It's sad and disappointing to see doctors who I would otherwise consider to be really ethical, and for the most part are ethical, be wooed and enticed by such shallow activities. I'm going to go into details. But some of the things I've learned about some of these doctors and some of the things going on.
But I'm surprised that you're surprised. Blows my mind. I'm surprised you're surprised.
I get that. Well, we talked about this actually, and it's surprising about how simple it is to get the attention of some of these guys. It's simple because it's deceptively simple. It's like, who would have thought that's all it would take?
That's true.
Something so shallow, so self-serving for them. Yeah, Rez, you have no idea, buddy. What you've
Dude,
seen is just scratching the surface.
He worked for Elliot. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He knows. The guy, Elliot used to have his family crest on his website. Am I right about that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, his grandfather. There was a picture of his grandfather. Do you remember that? Because
the whole thing was like, wow.
All of his family. There was this real level, I don't remember, like this real level of arrogance with him. And you couldn't,
You know what's interesting? He was never really arrogant with me. He seemed to be very, at the risk of sounding obnoxious, kind of respectful, at least in front of me. I'm not sure if that was the case behind my back, but in front of me, but I also always sensed that maybe that was just kind of a facade. And
for sure.
And I don't, I know a lot of guys are really nice to me in front of my face, but it seemed like it was a facade. So I wasn't sure if he was like that with everybody or if he was just being overly kind of overcompensating for me. And I was able to kind of see through it. But he always showed me a lot of respect.
Years.
What was that?
It's gotten worse it's gotten worse with, I don't know if he's getting like dementia, but, he'll tell me the same stories over and over again. And they're usually about how great he is or was, or, how he invented this, procedure. Not so much maybe like a pioneered a procedure. And really the thing that turns me off is how everybody else, nobody else knows what they're doing.
Yes.
I think I showed him a video of Zaref and his hairlines. His hair is great. He said, well, it's good, but the hairline just looks very unnatural. Now, you can say a lot about Zaref, but I don't see his hairlines as unnatural. Maybe that's, maybe my eye can't see
Well,
it.
I find that interesting coming from the person you're talking about. With all of that said, it's not unique to him to act in that manner. Not only in this field, but in life in general. So many people I've met over the years who are, I don't even know what the psychological term would be. I mean, I don't know if it's...
He grew up with a lot of money.
But everyone talks about narcissism. There's just so many different variables of narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody wants credit. Some people want credit when they actually haven't done much or don't deserve the credit. Some people really need you to know what they've done. And I have to say, I have been guilty of that on this program. I talk about introducing FUE to the U.S., to North America, and to Europe. But I also say that just to give people an idea of, like, I've been there since the beginning. I know exactly how this thing has evolved, and everyone else is lying to you, except for Joe. But I could also see how that could be seen as me kind of wanting to let the world know, listen, I'm the man. So, I understand it. I understand people.
When you got him on the list, he was on the list for a while.
I don't have a list.
No, not the list. When it was
it's an organization. It's not a list.
but it's an organization, but there's a list of doctors.
But every organization has a list of doctors on their website.
Of course. All right.
Yeah.
So was that mainly because
of True?
Because Dr. True, I think, is a great doctor.
True, it's interesting. True gave us essentially a physician has to be sponsored. At least that's the way it used to work. We're changing some things, which I'm going to be announcing soon. Physician used to have to be sponsored by another physician. And obviously True sponsored Elliot, and there was another doctor whose name shall remain in my brain, who sponsored him as well. Wrote a letter, a recommendation. So, basically, kind of that's the way things are initiated. And then we take a look, and obviously, what are they going to show us? Their best possible work. I'm going to speak to their best patients. I'm going to speak to, I don't know if you remember, but I asked to speak to a minimum of 2 attorneys, 3 physicians they perform surgery on. And what do you think these people are going to say? They're like, yeah, they have a list of people for me to call, and that's the way it was. In time, my eyes were opened up.
What did you think of his work in person? When you looked at
he's still, listen, the guy's still out there, right? I don't want to harm anybody.
He's not doing it anymore.
But I also don't want to harm anybody's reputation, especially if they're old or they're retired. But the reality is, there was one particular case that was kind of like the last straw. This poor kid felt he was really damaged. I had a doctor here in Los Angeles help him out, took care of him, and then this doctor said, listen, this is bad news. This should never have been done. And, that's kind of how the relationship ended. But it was a pretty short period of time. And I would say that, it's interesting about his work. There's a couple of celebrities that walk around here in Los Angeles, one in particular that I see pretty consistently in one particular restaurant. And his hairline looks great.
We talked about one of them.
David Spade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about?
He looks great.
Yeah, no, his hairline looks great.
I think we're the same age. And he looks, he's kind of a diminutive dude, so he looks kind of younger in person. But he looks good to me. Like, I don't think anybody would think he had a hair transplant that doesn't know what they're looking for.
I see him often on the podcast that he's got with Dana Carvey, and he always looks good.
Yeah.
David Spade.
Kevin Costner, too.
Looks good.
He lost a lot of.
I think David Spade is probably, like, if you're going to point to a celebrity that this guy performed surgery on or allegedly performed surgery on, point to David Spade. Yeah, he's missing some of his temporal points, but that's just whatever. Some people can have that natural recession on the sides, but he's in his 60s now. He's like 60, 61 years old. He looks really good.
Do you think those doctors do better work when they know they're doing it on somebody that is...
I do.
Like, they just take a little more
They
time.
make sure their best staff is in there, their best team. They don't drink the night before. They are on fleek. They're on point.
Yeah, they're on point, for sure.
That's kind of too bad. In my opinion. I try to do the best work for everybody, whether I was, selling them a car or...
Well, you know what's stupid about that, and you can relate to this. Is the fact that it should be the other way around, and here's why.
Yeah,
these celebrities aren't coming out. Like, I can't count how many times there've been a celebrity in, and and there's always been discussion about how we can get them to talk about their experience. That ain't happened with any of these guys. None of them. There might be like the occasional sports guy or C-level actor that might come out and talk about it, but none of these A-listers are going to say shit about it. John Cena is the only exception.
Yes.
When it comes to that,
and he's like
the only one.
top of the A's at this point.
Yeah. And I always used to question. I used to talk about this. It's like, why are we putting so much effort into this when this guy isn't going to do shit for us? He's not going to talk about it. He probably won't even talk to his friends about it. If he does, it might be one or two else. But what is the benefit of having celebrity clients, celebrity patients? Zero. It means nothing because they don't talk about it. There's no feedback on that. There's no payback. There's no, wait for it, ROI. And I say ROI investment because a lot of these guys, they actually get a discount for coming in.
Sure.
And it means nothing. It's such a waste of time and energy and such horseshit because they never turn around and pitch. They never turn around and say, well, funny you mentioned my great hair. Thanks to Dr. So-and-so.
I'll tell you, though, Anderson really must have made a tremendous impression on John Cena. For John to want to come out, discuss it the way that he does, every time he's asked a question, he gives a shout out to Ken Anderson.
Yeah.
I admire that. I think that's really great of him. He didn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do that. So, but yeah, I mean, to me, it's kind of like when I see people leading with celebrities also in their marketing, and sometimes it's like some weird, like, I don't know, like a guy played like in season 3 of The Sopranos for two episodes or whatever. Yeah. I'm just like, it's almost, I mean, I don't know what's worse. Or the guys out here that say that they're a Beverly Hills plastic surgeon. It's like, have you seen the work here in Beverly Hills? Have you seen, just go to Steak 48 on a Thursday, at 5 o'clock, sit at the bar, and you could see all the monstrosities.
Yeah, that were done in Beverly Hills. It's insane. It's like me saying, I'm a Beverly Hills podcaster. I'm a Beverly Hills consumer advocate. The only reason we live here is because we could afford to live. We figured out a way to afford to live here. The only reason these guys are working in Beverly Hills is they've been able to figure out a way to market themselves and afford the rent. That's it. Paul makes Adrian in the chat room makes a good point. He says the only place where you've seen celebrities and real celebrities talk about the results are in India.
That's true.
True.
A lot of cricket players.
A lot of musicians. Guaranteed none of those guys paid a single fucking rupee.
No.
For their hair transplants. Guaranteed.
No.
Guaranteed.
And they have to promise that Pradeep can sing for them at some point.
Exactly. Or actually let Pradeep sing for them.
Yeah.
And with his organ.
Yeah.
God bless him.
All right, Rez, listen, we're going to take another call.
All right, guys.
All right.
Care.
Thanks for the call.
Guys, get
Take
on
care.
those peptides.
I'm thinking about it because I'm in pain. See ya.
All right. Take care.
888-659-3727. Let's do this. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, sounds great. Hey, my name is Kevin. I'm calling from
Brother, you're going to have to do me a favor. Speak directly into the mic of your phone.
Sure. Can you hear me better now?
Much better. Thank you.
There you go.
Much better. Yeah, sorry. I have my headphones and they don't sound as well.
That's okay.
I'm calling from Mexico. So I'm a very young guy. I'm 20. I'm turning 21 on Tuesday. And
happy birthday.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. So I'm going to keep it very brief. Well, I'm going to try my best. But it's in regards to finasteride. It doesn't have to do with the peptides or copper. Is that completely okay with you?
100%.
Love it, man. Thank you so much. So I'm not really balding aggressively. Honestly, I wouldn't even say that my hairline has significantly changed over 4 to 5 years already. Regardless, I went to the trichologist, my dermatologist, at around January 7th of this year. He prescribed finasteride and oral minoxidil, so the typical form of, 1 milligram daily and 2.5 milligrams of oral minoxidil. That's what it was. And, I wasn't fully aware of the side effects. I knew that they existed, and I wasn't really concerned about it, but internally I had like this little voice saying, oh, you're going to get the side effects or something. So I took it 2 days after I took the pill. I did not care. Then I go into YouTube, I go to Reddit forums, and I hear about the post-finasteride syndrome thing, and I chose not to take the medication at all. Fast forward a month later, so February 1st, I chose to take the treatment again, and I was very frightened of the side effects, like before resuming the treatment again. And the third pill, like the third day that I took the pill, I had an issue with erectile dysfunction. I was like just very frightened, and I was like, okay, it's not going to work, and eventually did not work. And that was like a horrible week for me. Being a young person, sexuality is very important.
So you don't think it's important for me?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
It is
I'm just
for
kidding.
everybody. But, especially for a young guy, because, you're starting, like, life and stuff, I feel like it kind of hits you a little bit tougher. I don't know. I think that's very subjective.
It totally is subjective. When
but
you're 60 years old, you're still going to want to fuck, brother, if you're lucky.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why it's very, very subjective. And, regardless, that was February 3rd. I took the third pill, and I had the sexual dysfunction issue. 2 days later, I stopped the treatment, and I started working again. So, I'm just in this, like, situation, figuring out if it was, like, a scenario that was influenced by a psychological factor rather than an organic factor.
Well, those are.
I'm not.
That's a good question. First of all, let me just state clearly that you started at the beginning by saying that you're not sure how much how much hair you've lost, or that you said your hairline really hasn't changed in the last 5 years. You're only 20 right now,
Correct.
And the reality is you went to a dermatologist, right? Not a trichologist, right? A dermatologist.
Yeah.
Okay. So if your
He's a trichologist as well.
Okay, so if your dermatologist looked at your scalp and diagnosed you with androgenetic alopecia and was willing to prescribe these medications to you, that means that he or she was able to see the beginnings of miniaturization at least, and that the process has started. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So okay. Well, the good news is it's early. Early intervention is key if you decide to treat your hair loss. And if you do decide to get back on medication, there's a very strong chance that you're going to be able to maintain your hair for a while. It will work for about 86% of the finasteride, at least, on about 86% of the guys that use it, as far as the cessation of hair loss, slowing or stopping the progression of hair loss. And a lot of guys get regrowth just from finasteride alone. And when you add low-dose oral minoxidil, it's a great growth stimulator, so a lot of guys see tremendous growth. So to get to your point about post-finasteride syndrome and the whole psychological aspects of it and the potential psychosomatic causes of erectile dysfunction when kids take these medications, that's a reality. I'm not saying that you didn't experience real adverse side effects, but it's also possible, because you were so hyper concerned about it, that you had psychosomatic side effects. One way to test this out, and that's called a nocebo effect. One way to test this out is to measure whether or not you have nocturnal erections when you're on the drug. If you get a hard-on in your sleep, then you're not suffering from side effects.
Yeah.
So there are ways to test that. There are certain devices that you could use at home. There's also something called the stamp test, where you just get a roll of stamps, moisten them, wrap them around your junk at night, and if they're broken in the morning, you're good.
Yeah.
So I know that I know that seems what's the word?
No,
antiquated, but
I have to say that right now I'm fully recovered. I don't have any problems because I have not taken the medication anymore.
Yeah.
But
what was the experience like? Was
everything,
it just like you didn't feel like you were sexually aroused, or you tried to like watch porn or something, you couldn't do it?
It was only the ED problem. It was only that. It's a very funny thing because my friend, I told my friend, I was like feeling super bad about it, and I told him, dude, I feel like really bad, like I legit can't get an erection. And also something that I want to mention as well is that when I was waking up, I had like semi-erections, not a full erection, but also to mention, I don't know if it's a normal thing that I haven't had like consistent morning wood for like a year or something, or even more. Like it has nothing to do with finasteride. It could also be due to stress. So it was also that, and it was just really funny that I was getting like these summer erections when I was just relaxed. So he took me he took me on a night out with at the club, and I met a girl, and we were making out and everything, and I still had like this arousal feeling and everything, like I was enjoying it and stuff. Sorry for being a little bit graphic here, but I was doing it all, and I had like a semi-erection, but I think there was also more of the anxiety, because if I was calm, if I was feeling like just relaxed, like the thing would actually work.
Dude, first of all, performance anxiety it's real. Most people suffer from it to some degree in their life. Some guys don't, but if they're a lot of younger guys, I mean, I had it when I was a kid, first few times. I recovered pretty quickly from it, even during the act, but it was just like, wait a second, what's going on here? This never happened to me before, because I was nervous. I had never had sex before at that point, and that's just, and I was like, whatever, you're a teenager, not on any medication. So if you're concerned about it in any way, shape, or form, if there's a little bit of adrenaline, you will not get a full erection or an erection at all. You could be completely dead down there, even if you're excited in your mind. As soon as you start to think about, if it crosses your mind, you're not going to get a hard on. And that's what's so unique about this particular situation with this drug, is everyone is so terrified of that potential side effect that it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a mass hysteria effect. I've said that before. But let's put it this way. When I started in this game, when I wrote my first book, when I got on the radio, thousands of people were calling my program. You never heard of any adverse side effects, especially, you heard of some side effects, but especially post-finasteride syndrome. No one ever complained about that. In the literature, it didn't exist. From 1992, when Proscar was put on the market, until about 2006, was not really discussed, not in the urology community, not in the hair loss community. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It's very possible that you can suffer from adverse side effects from this drug. In most cases, those that do, it's a transient effect, meaning if they stay on the drug long enough, it essentially goes away. Their body starts to react more normally and adjust to the drug. Now, I think Joe still suffers from it. I'm not sure.
No, it comes and goes.
But I just want you to know that there is a strong possibility that you're dealing with a nocebo effect, but there's also a possibility that you are one of the small percentage of guys that suffer from erectile dysfunction on this medication. It's possible. But the only way to do it, to only really know, is to test it out.
Oh, I'm scared about doing it.
Well, I mean, you've already proven to yourself twice that you're not going to have post-finasteride syndrome. So you already proven to yourself twice that you were on the drug and then you get off of it and you had no issues once you've been off of it, right?
Yeah. I was also considering like the topical finasteride, like at a low dosage, like 3 times a week. What do you think about that?
Listen, a lot of people do well on topical finasteride, but there are also people who are complaining about adverse side effects from topical finasteride. Yeah. So if it's in your mind, there's a possibility you're going to be dealing with it. Now, I'm not telling you to get back. I'm not telling you to get back on this drug. I mean, that's up to you, and it's between you and your doctor.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question again. Let's backtrack. So the first time you were on it for how long? 2 days? 3 days?
The first time I only took 1 pill and didn't even take another one. And I was just like, that was in January and I was doing fine. It was up until February when I took another pill. And then until the 3rd pill, that's when I had the ED.
Okay. Now, do you remember what transpired that day? Did you wake up feeling anxious about it? Were you continuing to read about it? Did you have
Yeah, I was consistently reading. I was consistently checking. And also the day that I got the ED, so I woke up and I was doing great. I like double checked and I'm like, okay, I'm doing great. Like I did get an erection and I was continuing my day. And just a couple hours later, like 4 to 5 hours later, or even a little bit more, that's when I was like, dude, if I try to get an erection, I will not get an erection, and that's what happened. I had like this massive heart beating and stuff, like whole anxiety, and I'm like, okay, I like fully convinced myself, and
So you're saying that you were able to get an erection that day without, but as soon as you started to think about it and you're having an anxiety attack, essentially, you couldn't
Ding,
get a
ding,
hard
ding,
on.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. I mean, I'm not a physician. I think anybody would, if you spoke to any practicing physician about what you just explained, they would say that it was a psychosomatic issue.
Totally.
And that's what happens with performance anxiety. You can feel your heartbeat. You might get shortness of breath.
Yeah.
Okay. Normally, if it was the drug that was doing it, you probably wouldn't you wouldn't be experiencing any of those issues. You just would be dead down there. Deadwood, as they put it.
You wouldn't be experiencing the anxiety. And the issue is that I do have like some anxiety, like psychologically, like it's diagnosed by my therapist and everything. So
join the club.
Yeah.
Join the club. What I've lived through, the fact that I'm still around, is unbelievable. But no, really, I don't mean to. I don't want to make light of what you're going through because it's very real. But based on everything you've described, I'm not a physician, but I'm sure if you told your physician this exact scenario, he or she would tell you the same thing. Now, did you speak to your doctor again?
Yeah, I did speak to him, and he said like it was psychosomatic because it was only 3 pills and with like no possibility of like getting side effects from that. Well, he said it was like a very low chance, but the 5-alpha reductase inhibition wasn't even at its fully completion. Therefore, there's a very low possibility from developing a side effect from such dosage, like only 3 milligrams of finasteride.
Yeah. Well, just the way you explained it, total anxiety, rapid heartbeat. You were just thinking about not being able to get a hard on. That's classic performance anxiety.
Totally.
Now, again, not to tell you to get back on this medication at all. That's your choice. But you need to kind of put that into your equation. And what's going to cause you more anxiety? Going bald at a young age? Is that going to cause you to be depressed? Is that going to make you get on antidepressants, which can cause pretty significant sexual side effects? These are all things that you need to.
50%.
Yeah, I mean that's things you really need to put into your equation. Or honestly, the best thing to do, I tell every young person, if they can tolerate it, if they are equipped to deal with it, just shave your head and move on if that's a possibility in your life.
Oh no, no, my hair is my whole identity. Not gonna lie.
Look, I built an entire career over it, around my hair loss, So, I mean, trust me, I get it, man.
Totally.
I still get depressed about it as I see things changing.
It's great to have people that relate to it because, honestly, it's very hard to come across someone in real life that's like that. Like, I talk to a lot of my people, they're like, it's not that big of a deal or anything, but honestly, it is. It is.
That's the power of this show. You can call in and talk to us about it. There's no place else you can do that, or no other place that offers that.
And you even gave me a little anxiety. I don't have performance anxiety, and you gave it to me over the phone.
And that's another thing this is good for.
So, but listen, I just want you to listen. You're a young man. You have your whole life ahead of you. Understand that these are real psychological issues that would happen to everybody. Anybody who really reads about this stuff online usually freaks out. That is why this is rampant, to be honest with you. Can it happen? Yes, 100%. Based on what you described, I would say that you didn't suffer from actual adverse side effects from the drug. And most doctors would tell you that. But again, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a doctor. You could try topical. You could talk to your doctor about topical as well. That may make you feel better. You may do very well on it. Yeah. Or you could titrate your dosage. You can talk to your doctor about taking a lower dosage, starting very, very slow. And that's something Joe knows a lot about.
3 times a week. like 1 milligram finasteride. He told me that could work as well.
Yeah.
One question. I know the difference between minoxidil and finasteride. Like, I'm completely obsessed with the topic, and I know everything. And I know oral minoxidil does not treat DHT at all, and it's just an anagen phase, or it just keeps the hair on growth phase. What would you say? Would you say it's a good idea if I'm only in oral minoxidil just for a little bit of time? Of course, not in the long term, but maybe just to like do something. Whether like it's better to be taking something than not be taking anything at all.
Look, I can tell you that, and I'll let Joe answer it. I don't mean to interrupt you, Joe. I had nothing when I started. There was nothing. Okay, Rogaine wasn't even approved by the FDA for hair loss. I had a doctor who's compounding Lonitin tablets into topical minoxidil because they weren't prescribing oral minoxidil to young people back then. I believe that it kind of it kept things at bay for a while for me. But I've always said that it's just a Band-Aid. Low-dose oral minoxidil may keep your hair in longer anagen phases for a protracted period of time. So it may give you several years of better hair and kind of slow the process. Eventually, your hormones are going to get to you, but you may get 5 years out of it. So if that's the only thing that you're willing to do, I would say that most physicians would say it's better than nothing if you want to keep your hair. Joe, what's your answer?
Well, I was going to say that with regards to your finasteride dosage, and Spencer was about to he kind of mentioned that I know something about the titration of that. I'm going to talk to you about.
Put the camera on you, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to talk to you about how I like to recommend people get on finasteride if they're concerned about the side effects. And stop me if you've heard this before, but back when I was working in clinic, I came up with this solution or this approach, which turned out to be a solution for many people. I never once heard anyone get back to me and say that they were still having issues. And this worked for people that did have issues on finasteride that decided to stop and then took this approach to get back on it. And it worked for people that had never been on it before and just wanted to, really mitigate the possibility of side effects. So it depends on how you get your pill. If you get your pill in a 5 milligram tablet, then well, go ahead and tell me. Sorry, how do you get your pill? Is it 5 milligram or 1 milligram?
Oh, it's 1 milligram.
Okay.
But it cannot be split. Like it's
So what you do is you take one pill a week, just one.
Yeah.
For 1 month. And the best day to start is a Monday. It's just easy to remember. On a Monday, I'm going to start taking this, and just take it one time, once a week on Monday for four weeks in a row. It doesn't have to be May 1st or June 1st or whatever. And see how you tolerate it. Most likely, I don't want to guarantee it, but most likely in the most extreme version of that phrase, you won't have any issues. Month 2, take it Monday and Thursday every week for 4 weeks. See how you feel. Month 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. See how you feel. And you can hold it Monday, Wednesday, Friday on month 3. If you're feeling like pushing it, then on month 4, you can take it 5 days in a row. Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And try that. If at any point you start to feel like you're having issues, don't stop. Just cut back to the previous month's intake regimen and stay on that for the next 2 months to see how that works out for you. And then you can reconsider bumping up to the next level if you want.
Yeah.
And get back to us. Get back to us in 6 months, because I'm confident that if you call us back in 6 months and you start this tomorrow, or you start it this Monday, you'll be like, shit, I'm fine. I'm good. I want to hear back from you in 6 months if you start this.
Or just get on oral minoxidil and see what happens. You're eventually going to have to get on finasteride, though, or some 5-alpha reductase inhibitor.
to answer your question about getting on something in the meantime, I don't think that's a good idea, and here's why. If you're going to get on something now, stick with it. Like don't look at something as a stopgap before you start doing something else. Either start something and stick with it, or don't.
Well, I'm assuming that if he gets on low dose oral minoxidil, he's going to continue with it.
Well, the way you said it,
I would do it forever.
The way you said it initially made it sound like it was just a temporary thing. But regardless.
Oh yeah. That's how I meant it.
Even if it's long term, then don't start oral minoxidil and then start your finasteride at the same time. You got to give it some time to do what it's going to do, so that you know that if you start the new treatment, you can see the benefits that that's bringing to the table as well. If you start them both at the same time or within 6 months of each other, you have no idea what's doing what. You may be getting a great response from oral minoxidil, start finasteride 6 months from now, and you don't know if it's doing. You'll know if you're getting side effects or not, but you won't know if it's actually adding to the overall result.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of starting both medications at once, but that's how most doctors prescribe it, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the future, if you want to stop one, you don't know which one to stop because you don't know which one's working and which one's not.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, listen, you took up enough of our time. I'm just kidding. I really appreciate your concerns. I understand them. You're young, and they're very real. And the internet's a scary place. And I'm sorry that you've experienced this. But it sounds like a lot of it's, and again, all the post-finasteride syndrome guys and the post-finasteride syndrome mob don't like when I say this, but for a lot of guys, it's in their head. Not everybody, but for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So I wish you the best of luck. Let us know what you decide to do.
Yeah.
Thank you, man, and I appreciate you empathizing with me, because when I experienced this whole thing, this whole scenario, a lot of people we didn't take it serious at all, and it means a lot to me, man. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome.
It was a really
Our pleasure.
Yeah,
right.
It's really tough.
Well, hang in there, brother.
Appreciate it, brother. God bless you.
Take care.
God bless you too.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.
God bless my tendons. You want to take another call, Joe?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Omer from Israel. How are you guys?
Hey, brother, what's happening?
What's up, buddy?
Long time no speak.
Good. Yeah, I actually wanted for quite some time to call you. A few things, actually, I wanted to discuss with you about. You mentioned Dr. Sethi earlier in the show, and as a reminder for you and whoever listened to us, I had a transplant with him 3.5 years ago, and I'm not quite happy with the results, although I must be honest, and I would say that it improved my condition. Obviously, I can use topic and it will not look ridiculous like previously. However, it is not a gold standard results, and things that I'm still facing nowadays that are quite depressing, like wrong angles and poor density. My question to you, what I wanted to ask you, first, why did you remove him from both of your organization? And second, if I may ask you about how you make your decision, do you inspect your doctors from time to time? Like how do you know that you recommend them and they don't do shit, have a shitty results, start to have problems? How do you know that in real time? And then how do you know to remove them from your organization? Because for me, going forward, like if I choose a certain doctor, how can I know, I'm traumatized from Dr. Sethi. How can I know to make the right decision in the future.
I want to answer this first, then I'll let Joe say his piece. You know, we're essentially, we are the, I just want to get it over with. We're the clearinghouse for complaints. So when you ask, how do we know? Everyone and their mother complains about either the physicians who are part of the IHRS and everyone else through the American Hair Loss Association. So we're kind of able to see stuff in real time that other people cannot see. I've unfortunately had to remove, in the last 25 years, probably 15. Is it 15? No, maybe about 12 physicians. A few died because of what happens in real time, whether they've had a change.
So when he removes you, he really removes you.
whether they've had a change of staff, whether the complaints have gone up. You know, what's interesting about at least the IHRS too, the guys that end up finding physicians who are associated with the IHRS, they're not shy about complaining. Like, I remember you called initially and you were concerned about what was happening with SETI. And if you remember what I was saying on the air, is that I was starting to get very surprised about some things that were going down, especially the use of other doctors who people would find these physicians who were part of our groups, and then they would end up having these packages that they would go for that had doctors who we had no idea were actually performing surgery on anyone that came through our resources. So there were a lot of issues, as I don't know if you remember. Now, the reason why they're not part of the IHRS anymore is because, well, I don't know if I can actually say this. I could say this. They were not removed for doing consistently bad work. So I don't want you to think that. It had to do with, I think we were asked not to talk about this because of something about the financial system in India. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So I can say this. They were not removed because of consistent complaints. However, I know that Pradeep was a little upset for me essentially explaining why I was unhappy about certain things and that I was going to have to talk to them, which I did. So for me, it kind of all worked out. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But I don't want anyone to think that I removed them or we removed them from the group because they were butchering people or because there were any truly consistent complaints. My biggest complaint that I was getting was that people, well, like I described in the program, people didn't know who to go to when they found their clinic through us because they were being offered all kinds of different deals and packages with doctors they never heard of. And a lot of these guys were choosing the cheaper packages. I don't know if you chose the cheaper package. I think you actually had surgery with him, right?
I did. Yeah, directly. But the thing is, he only did the incision the first day. The second day, I didn't see him. Maybe it was 11 p.m. We finished the surgery the second day. The technician called Dr. Seti via, I don't know, like WhatsApp video, and he was sitting on his bed eating, and he asked the technician, please zoom in his scalp. Okay, add here two more grafts. This was the treatment I got. You know, it's not ethical. And the second thing is, you know, initially I flew all the way to India to get a consultation with him. Initially I had a different doctor, then I had him, and he told me 2,500 grafts. The day of the surgery, he said, oh, let's do 4,300 because we are going to do your temporal point. And, you know, everybody tells you trust the process. So I try to trust the process. And, you know, it brought me, not such a great result.
Well, how did the clinic respond to your concerns?
I'm not speaking with him anymore. Basically, he tried to, push me off. Initially, he said it's a bad haircut. It's maybe medication, wait longer. You know, he just tried to push time until, the last conversation, I just I had enough, and I told him, listen, the results are not so great. The density is dead. So he said, okay. After back and forth, he offered I think a correction or something. I said, no, I'm not going back. Even if you pay me, I'm not coming back.
I actually agree with that. I completely understand that. I don't know if Joe agrees with that process, but I am not a fan of, if you really feel like you were screwed, letting the same doctor or the same clinic repair you.
Well, I think it comes down to the comprehensive experience, as opposed to, like if there's a situation where it's a reputable clinic and the patient has an outcome that isn't to their expectations for whatever reason, and in the lead up to the surgery itself and everything else has been,
I agree with you on that,
textbook.
Yeah.
Then there is validation in choosing to go back to that same clinic. In your situation, you did the exact thing you should have done. And I'm going to go ahead and answer your question as far as why I'm no longer working with Dr. Sethi. It has nothing to do with the financial, with the thing that can't be discussed that Spencer brought up. The reason why I removed him from hairtransplantmentor.com is because, and this is all documented, there was a patient that called the show. It was about 2 years ago, I think. And he was explaining a problem that he had with his final outcome. And it wasn't final at the time.
That's when you and I were starting to talk about all of these issues with these other doctors.
Yeah. And I told him to give it some more time, because it deserved to have more time. It was still early in the process. And it came time for the 12-month review, and he called us, and he said he still wasn't happy. And he actually sent me some photos. I checked him out, and I could see his argument. Long story short, I'm not going to go into every detail, but long story short, he went back to India because he has family in India, so he was already there. And he had a follow-up meeting at the clinic with Dr. Sethi. And according to the follow-up consultation went one way according to the patient, and another way according to Dr. Sethi, because I talked to him after the fact. And the stories did not align. Now, leading up to this, there were some other issues, such as my concern, as Spencer mentioned previously, about the multiple doctors and multiple packages that showed up out of nowhere after I accepted him and his wife as members. And I knew that he wanted to expand, but what I found out and what Spencer found out is that the designations that they were granted after review and acceptance was being applied in the clinic to everyone that worked in the clinic, all the doctors. And that's not the way it's supposed to work. It was misleading to the patients that understood this, and that's not the way it's supposed to work. The other thing that I didn't like was the fact that the marketing was just getting to be way too much. It was way over the top. It was misrepresenting the truth. It was making things look like it was all church bells and rose petals when it isn't, as a surgery. And I didn't appreciate that. I didn't like that. I thought that he was growing too fast, and it's not isolated to just eugenics. A lot of different clinics go through this.
And I had a problem with the name of the clinic, first of all.
I started out with them knowing that they were a good clinic, they were good people, they had the right idea, and moving forward, there was a split in the clinic. One half of the clinic wanted to keep things simple and do things the right way. Another half of the clinic wanted to expand and do all these different clinics, all over India and worldwide. And it's like, there's a philosophy there that doesn't jive with the other. So bottom line is there's a lot of turmoil that I felt was dangerous for the patient, because ultimately that's what matters. How does all this affect the patient? And when you get to the point where your communication is inconsistent, when you get to the clinic for a consultation, and then you go back for the surgery, and the surgery estimate is almost twice what the original consultation estimate was, that is a red flag where you should not trust the process. It's different if you do a virtual consultation. I understand that one. Like if something isn't seen so well in virtual, and it's like, oh, you know what, we didn't realize this. We would like to do this. It's up to you. Blah blah blah. But the idea of temple points, that's something he should be able to see a mile away. And I'll tell you this, I don't like his obsession with temple points, because he used to give me a hard time about it and joke around. I told him not to do this. I'm kind of venting right now. I told him not to do this. He would say this in front of his other clients, in front of his other patients. Oh, I need to get Joe in for some temple points. It's like, screw you. I like my temple points.
Look, he wants to fix
I told him to
mine.
stop doing it.
I'm just kidding.
And so, and the thing is, I also didn't like the fact that he would call me up out of nowhere and walk around the hospital and introduce me to his patients. These guys didn't know I was going to be on the phone.
Oh, yeah. He did the same to me. I the first day, I think I already flew for the surgery, and he took me to his house, which was kind of nice, but at the same time weird. Yeah. But okay, I went along with that.
It's funny.
And on the way, he called. I don't know if I should say his name, but the guy from the forum, and
one of them.
Some additional guys, and he didn't even ask me, is that fine? Can I call? Maybe I want to stay anonymous.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
I don't want nobody to see my face. He didn't ask me. Okay, let's do a phone call, a WhatsApp, a video call. I don't know. So I didn't like it as well. Like, I totally get what you say.
I didn't think that was appropriate.
Look,
the last time he did that, he was walking around the hospital, and he walked up to this guy and said, "I want you to meet this guy. He's the richest man in India."
Yeah, I actually felt when Joe made that decision, I was already talking to these guys about the other situation, and I was like, oh, "Fuck, now I gotta pull the plug on this guy too," and I almost felt bad for him. But then he I forgot who he complained to about it, but he was saying that I was disrespectful because I was telling the truth on the air and all this other stuff. So for me, the timing was really, Joe had pulled the plug. The timing of this other situation was good. We decided to remove the entire clinic, and it is what it is, This is the problem. This is what we try to tell everybody. We try to tell everybody, it doesn't matter how much we try. It doesn't matter how good these people are, what their intentions are, how they start off. There's at least a few patients who believe that they've been effed up by even some of the best doctors in the world. The problem is,
I'm not done.
I'm going to let you finish. The problem is when these guys like this grow quickly because everyone wants a cheaper hair transplant. Everyone's willing to fly to India. Everyone's willing to, they're seeing these great results online and all the chatter on all the message forums and all the excitement. They decide, you know what? We have an opportunity. We're just going to grow. And when that happens, there's a lot of mismanagement. Patient care could take a real hit. And I believe that they kind of have to get more people in the chair or sell more grafts in situations like that.
Well, it's a matter of having to feed the monster that they created themselves.
Right.
And the final straw for me was a situation where, just so people understand how the process works, one of the things that I talk about with every clinic that comes on board is I make it clear in no uncertain terms. Like there's no ambiguity with this. If you make it through the evaluation process, and that's a big if, then the materials that you provide for me, I will create an introductory video about what you do, why I think it's worth considering, and why I think that you as a doctor overall are worth considering for anyone's procedure. I say that almost verbatim to every clinic And I will usually get the question, well, how many videos can you make for me? And I say one. And if there's something that's unusual or something that is of special interest that I think the public would learn something from, then maybe a few more. This guy, let me tell you something. The moment he got the first couple of videos, I did make a couple of videos because there are several subjects that I did want to talk about regarding the clinic. I'll never forget this. He called me up and he said, "Why aren't you making more videos? We need more. It's been a year since you made a video for us." Everything I told him, it was like it went in one ear and out the other. And he was constantly looking for more output. In other words, he was looking for more fresh content for me talking about him. And I was very clear up front, just like you can talk to any doctor I work with. They'll all tell you the same thing. Yeah, it's like one video up front, maybe one or two later, if there's something like it's verbatim. He was pushing me. And to a degree, I actually bent on some of this and I made additional videos. But he was pushing me. Like he started talking about, well, why can't you do them every couple months? Because I don't want to. I don't work for you. And in the meantime, he had actually taken my advice and he'd hired an in-house team to create content, shoot video, edit video. He got the green screen. He got the lights. He got everything I told him to do. He did it. But then he wanted me to perform like the people that he had hired to work in the clinic. I don't do that. And so it was this steady progression of humble beginnings, appreciation for those that can give him the exposure that he at the time deserved, to having to feed the monster and acting out. It was almost as if his actions were reflecting a desperation to feed the monster. And the moment that I cut him loose was one of the best moments in my career. He has a very unusual perspective on the world. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
I think the world of his wife. I think she's a lovely woman. She has a different perspective on things. And she has a different approach. Yeah, that's why. To answer your question.
Actually, she in one of the breaks I had in the surgery, she asked me, do you think we should make a Google a promotion in Israel? Do you know good companies or something like that? People know English, or it's better to advertise in Hebrew? She asked me during
legitimate
my
question.
surgery, speaking about. Sorry.
Oh, during your surgery? Yeah. That's not
a good look, brother.
During my lunchtime, she asked me something.
Yeah.
She was really nice. I wouldn't say otherwise, but I don't know if the right moment to ask.
It's interesting about this entire field, and I'm not going to, again, she is very nice. You'd be surprised at how familiar these doctors get with their patients and what they try to get them or ask them to get involved in. They saw an opportunity like, wait a second, we have an Israeli guy who's traveled here. Maybe this is an opportunity for us. It's almost like, I hate to say it, but it's almost like an ancestral field. You see so many people who are former patients that end up working or pimping these doctors out. I mean, in the entire field.
Yeah.
Right, Joe? Joe was one of them.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what he asked me?
To be a consultant in Israel.
He actually said that he's looking for a donation because he helping poor kids,
the school,
and schools and things like that. Yes. So he asked me Do you know some? You have a really good agriculture in Israel. Can you help to associate with some people that can donate or something? And I'm with him, so I it doesn't leave you any choice. So I did some Google search. I tried to help him out, gave him some phone numbers, but I don't think it's, I shouldn't deal with that. During my surgery, during my recovery,
100%.
he was nice to me, everything, but I think, you need to put a bit of a line between a doctor and a patient. It's healthy, and, he kind of crossed the line, and he can ask, politely, is it okay? And his approach is different, and you need,
there's a very, like I said, it's a weird, almost ancestral thing with this field. Look at Morty. You know Morty's story. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah.
These guys who get involved with their doctors, it's craziness. You know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even, if I was a physician, I wouldn't even be Facebook friends with my patients.
Yeah,
well, that's the way some of them think that they're building up goodwill.
Yeah,
and it's like I understand it from the level of the consultant and those below, but the doctor needs to be at a position where none of that matters. None of that is even a discussion. And there's another doctor where he has a patient come in and make dinner for him at his home. What kind of sick, twisted what? This industry sucks so much. Like, there are a few gems that I truly enjoy working with and I think are good people, but man, some of the weird shit that you wouldn't dream of this stuff if you knew half of what was going on. Anyway, it's crazy. So I'm sorry for your outcome. I really am. I think that you made the right decision in seeking redress elsewhere. Where do you think about going?
So actually, this is the next thing I wanted to ask. I will make it brief. Maybe I will call next time in a few weeks.
That's fine.
So I will just talk about it briefly and ask you something of your opinion. I actually had a consultation already with Dr. Manny. He was very nice. Mm-hmm. I think I should just travel to UK because we got to the conclusion that he cannot really tell me how many grafts do I have. He needs to measure my scalp.
Because he's a real doctor. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think I should go to him, but you know what? I will mention something. The last time I called, Spencer, you said I'm desperate because it's 3 a.m. in Israel, and it's the same time now, and I admit I'm desperate. So speaking about desperate, during the online consultation I had with Dr. Manny, we had bombs from Iran hitting Israel. So I had to, in the middle of the consultation, I had to run to the shelter, and just to, finish the consultation in the middle,
Were you able to finish it? Were you actually able to finish it on your phone in the shelter?
No.
Okay.
Actually, the receptionist said in the shelter. Yeah. We had a video call, so I had to shut it down.
That's amazing.
Later, I actually called his assistant, and we managed to finish it the same day. So he was really nice.
Wow.
So just to say this about him. And last week, actually, I had a consultation with Matt, from Ron Shapiro. And,
Ron's still doing surgery?
Probably, yes. He told me.
Yeah, I didn't know.
He was honest enough. He said, I think you should at least do 3 corrective surgery to remove the graft and then transplant everything right from the start. But since Dr. Ron is very busy and his time is valuable, he said it's better maybe for you to do it somewhere in Europe. But then he said, like, now there is, like, next week they're having a FUE convention in Cyprus. So he said, maybe you can travel there and meet, like, briefly with Dr. Ron, maybe with other doctors. So this is what I wanted to, like, ask you. I kind of consider going there, like it's very close to Israel, like 1 hour flight and quite cheap.
Are they going to let you? Are they going to let you into the conference or into the lobby? Are you going to be?
That's not the way it works. He'd have to meet with them in the hotel.
Actually, I just emailed few doctors that I saw. Like he sent me whoever is going to be a speaker in this. Convention. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I cannot go inside. But I emailed some of them asking.
You'd be surprised to let Joe in.
Sorry. Oh yeah, that's for sure. You as well. What do you think? Like, is it a waste of time for me? Because for me, I think maybe I can like save time. Maybe have like even brief opinion of everybody, meeting like multiple doctors at once, because. Scheduling with, like, I want to have a consultation with so many doctors, FUE, FUT, like, I want to know all my options before I'm doing any movement, you know?
I think that, well, it depends, because having been to these meetings, and especially the WFI meeting that's going on next week.
First of all, you want to make sure they're
Cyprus.
sober. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you want to make sure they're sober. These meetings, like, they're busy from early morning till late at night. So the only time that they usually have is during the lunch break and a couple of coffee breaks. That's it. So most of them will stay maybe an extra day, but then they're using that time to sightsee, to go see the sites, because there's always some sort of tour that's arranged after the last day of the conference. So if I were you. If I wanted to go there to meet with these doctors, first off, I would not go for less than the opportunity to meet 3 doctors. Second, I would not go for less than half an hour of time with each of these doctors. Because if it's less than that, then they're just rushing. And their head might not be completely in the game, because they've got so many things going on at once, and you know, who knows what they're dealing with in their heads. They may have just gotten into an argument over, you know, the type of punch that's best. Who knows? It can be valuable, no question about it. And I've been in these situations where patients have shown up to these conferences, and the doctor did take an appropriate amount of time to spend with them. So it's up to you. If you feel like you're going to get something valuable out of it, then sure, go ahead. Me personally, only if they could spend half an hour with me and I can see 3 doctors minimum. But that might not be your your threshold. It may be just one. If you want to go see Dr. Ron, I'm sure he would give you time, but make sure up front that you get that commitment of at least half an hour. Because it's not just him looking at your scalp, it's him answering your questions, and that can take some time.
Yeah, I understand. You know, I cannot force them. Like, they are doing me a favor. So, like, I contacted multiple doctors in the meantime.
Well, let me stop you. Yeah, they're doing you a favor, but not really, because you're doing them a favor of giving them the opportunity for more business. Don't look at like you're hiring them. Never forget that you're hiring these doctors to do a job for you, not the other way around.
Yeah,
you're paying them money.
Time, you know, for me, usually, you know, they charge for consultation. Some of them, at least. So,
and they
like,
should.
I'm not paying, you know. Yeah, that's fine. I pay it for
and they should. And there's nothing wrong with them saying, sure, I'm there for a conference, but if you want to see me, it'll be, you know, 50 euros or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that.
No problem.
But ultimately, you're hiring them for a job. They're not donating. It's like, I mean, they're happy to talk to you if they have the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I saw that Dr. Lorenzo is there as well, but he emailed me actually today. He said, I'm retired for 1 year. Did you know about that?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Like he has one of the best websites, with results, like something amazing, like so easy to. I wish
you know
all
where
the
you know where he
doctors had something
you know
like that.
where you know where he learned how to do those build his gallery
From Joe Tillman.
from me.
From you.
From me. He told me that
Amazing.
specifically. Anyway, all right, we got to wrap this up.
Yes.
All right, brother. Listen, Joe's got to go. He's got to
Thank you
go.
very much. Thank you, both of you. Thank you. You don't know how much I appreciate your help and information, and I value what you do. So thank you very much, and thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Well, we appreciate you, and I really wish you the best of luck. And keep us posted, okay?
Thank you. I will.
Take
Thank
care. Bye-bye.
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 All right, callers, we're going to have to hang up on everybody. Joe has got to go, period. He's got no time for you.
My throat's getting sore.
Okay.
Still a little sick.
So let's call it a night. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Joe's Instagram is Joe Tillman Official. That's at Joe Tillman Official. My Instagram, at Spencer Kobren. You can follow me on TikTok, too. I don't do a lot of TikToking.
I don't TikTok much.
But I'm doing more ticking, whatever you're calling it these days. Yeah. First of all, I'm really sorry that this happened to him. I am super glad that we have a separation now, though. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
It's a relief. What started off as awesome, I believe, started to devolve in a way that I was just like, how is this happening?
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, listen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, in hindsight, it's easy to see how it happened, but it is what it is. You move on.
Blindsided by it. I did not. My initial communication was just like, well, I should have known when they decided to go in a direction that they asked me specifically about. I explained the situation. Didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Should have known. But anyway, look. Erica's a nice lady. Until next time, be strong. God bless, and thank you so much for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the programme, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, it would be